Rishi Sunak faces a rebellion in his own party if he can't bring along the DUP and the ERG with his plans to sort out Northern Ireland. So, at the top of the list of MPs who are threatening to resign if this all goes pear-shaped, if indeed Rishi Sunak favours the EU and abolishes the Northern Ireland Protocol Reform Bill, at the top of the list is Suella Braverman. Well, I mean, most of us would be dancing with joy at the thought of Suella Braverman resigning as Home Secretary. But it's the other people who might have to go too. Of course, there's Dominic Raab. Dominic Raab would solve so many problems, wouldn't it? And Dominic Raab, not only could he resign as Deputy Prime Minister, but he could also resign as a Member of Parliament. That would be spectacular, wouldn't it? However, the other two are Steve Baker, the Minister of State for Northern Ireland, and Chris Heaton-Harris, the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland. Now, Chris Heaton-Harris, I think talking about Chris Heaton-Harris in the same breath as Suella Braverman, Dominic Raab and Steve Baker is to do him a great disservice. I think Chris Heaton-Harris has remarkable gifts, and I don't imagine that actually a resignation is forthcoming, even if the deal is primarily with the EU. Chris Heaton-Harris, he was a European Conservative member of the European Parliament. He has been the chair of the European Research Group. That's the right-wing pro-Brexit group that has controlled so much of the agendum about the implementation of Brexit since Boris got Brexit done. And he's very much in favour of the DUP, but he's also got strong links with Ireland, strong links with Irish parliamentarians. And I think one has to be very careful that one doesn't look at Chris Heaton-Harris and confuse him with Jacob Rees-Mogg. Jacob Rees-Mogg would say that unless there is a deal with the DUP, unless the deal keeps the DUP happy, it won't go ahead. And Bernard Jenkin, another ERG member, has said that any trade border should not be between Britain and Northern Ireland, but between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. A view that I think simply fails to take account of the Good Friday Agreement, which is coming up to a significant anniversary. So I think Chris Heaton-Harris would have to listen to Jacob Rees-Mogg. I remember I had tea in the tea room with Chris Heaton-Harris, and Jacob Rees-Mogg walked in, but they didn't seem to be rushing into each other's arms. So I think this is a recent and a temporary friendship. But Rees-Mogg will be whispering in Chris Heaton-Harris's ear, as will the DUP MPs. And I think Chris Heaton-Harris would have to bear those in mind. I think Steve Baker is a different kettle of fish. He's significantly more right-wing. I think he's very much part of the broker boy brigade, like Rishi Sunak, actually. So Rishi and he should be able to speak the same language. Baker worked at Lehman Brothers, and indeed that was the organisation that almost destroyed the economy in 2008, if you remember. He's vehemently opposed to gay marriage, and he's vehemently proposing in favour of Brexit. And whether or not he's somebody that we actually want, God knows. I must say he's not on my list of people that I would be inviting round for dinner. But then nor is Suella Braverman, and nor is Dominic Raab. Chris Heaton Harris, the door is open any day for him. So let's see what happens next. But there are these threats of resignation. So there's a lot of pressure on Rishi Sunak. If I were Rishi Sunak, I would simply say, do your worst. Do your worst.